just really annoying, relentless people in that way.
Have you ever been afraid to be remembered as that band from the treadmill video?
Not particularly.
No, not really.
I mean, we will be remembered that way. There's sort of no doubt. No matter how well we do in anything in the rest of our lives, I'd be surprised if we ever, like that video has 50 million hits now, I think, on a single posting. So who knows how many if you add up the others. So like, we're never gonna sell 50 million records, like it's not. But like numbers isn't really the goal, It's like for us, it's mostly being able to keep doing the things we want to do and being able to chase down our craziest ideas and the fact that video is so successful has just made it a lot easier for us to like do more things like that and not have to fight everyone every step of the way. It used to be that you walk into a record label and say, like, I've got a home video I want to put online and it's gonna get a Grammy, and they'd be like, yeah, they throw you out the door, and they did over and over again. And like trying to get even like the smallest of budgets from record labels 5 years ago was impossible for us, and we still do things super cheap, and we don't, we're not like a big, crazy, wildly famous, rich band, but we do have a little bit of elbow room to actually make things we want the way we want to now, which is really wonderful.
How did you get the money for back then from the labels? What convinced them?
Yeah, we just sort of just badgered them. We're just really annoying, relentless people in that way. I mean, the treadmill video came out 53 weeks, right? For like 53 weeks after the record had come out. So the album had been out for a year, and there's no. I mean, like most labels will give an album 6 weeks or something, and if it's not, still at the top of the charts, it's like on to the next thing. And we managed to so consistently annoy them for an entire year that we actually got to, that we put out a record a year later and it still, went to the top of the charts. So that's how we did it. And
now this open letter about not being able to embed.
Yes.
Just interrupt you for a short second.
Sure. That's actually what I was up all night working on, as a revision of that to, for a more public audience. But I think I actually made it worse. No, I might do it as a New York Times op-ed, but it's. I think I actually made it worse, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'll maybe with some perspective later, I'll see. But
we should just print the same letter.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So you posted that open letter. Have the record company responded?
Parts of the record company have. We got a tweet actually from EMI France yesterday saying like, good job on that letter. It's well thought out. And what I can't figure out is if EMI France has been geo-blocked and so this is their way of giving the sort of nod up up to their bosses, saying like, see, or if they feel like it's written in an even-handed enough way that it sort of absolves the label of duty and it makes them look good. I can't. It's I was very careful with that letter to try to not just like do this sort of knee-jerk like blame labels. I mean, there's major labels are most of the things that are said about them, they're true. They're really they're exploitative, and they're not the bastions of creativity we would like them to be. Let's just leave it at that. They're like, they're pretty bad places sometimes. But that said, there's they do serve certain functions that often get overlooked. I mean, and musicians by and large actually do need the investments that the labels make in them. And like if we tried to get that money from a bank and then failed, we'd actually owe all that money back to a bank. Whereas the 95% of musicians who never make it anywhere don't actually have to pay their labels back. They just go back about their day jobs. So there are reasons to try to keep it even-handed, and I don't know. I don't really know what the higher ranks of EMI think about the letter that we wrote. In general, I think people seem. I mean, the reaction to it mostly has been that it's a pretty even look at things, and not particularly skewed one way or the other. Except, of course, for like the stalwart super indie kids who are just like furious that anybody would say anything that wasn't burn down the labels. Yeah.